This is the Abundant Lion for Hump Day Self-Care Day. All right, glad to have you all here today. So before I begin, the first thing I want to ask, have you worked on any goals this week? Have you put aside time to work toward something that you have a goal for? If you haven't, start tomorrow, even if it's 5 or 10 minutes. So challenge yourself. Start tomorrow. And what about the networking stuff? Have you worked on any of the networking stuff? Have you looked up anything or got in contact with someone or, touched bases, said hello to someone? If not, challenge yourself to do it to 3 people. 3 people in your network just to touch bases with so that you can get a habit of networking and making your networking skills grow. All right, so how was your week? I hope your week was good. You're in the middle of the week. This is Hump Day. All right, so today I want to talk about doubt and self-doubt. So I have a quote for you. Doubt is like putting yourself in a cage. It doesn't allow you to move forward. Doubt is like putting yourself in a cage. It doesn't allow you to move forward. So here's the thing about doubt. You have like all kind of doubt. You have self-doubt, doubt of, am I going to be able to do this or that? Doubt in other people. And of course, doubting yourself, which is similar to self-doubt. But doubt is almost like trying to manifest, hey, I don't believe this is going to work out for me. I doubt something is going to happen good for me. I doubt something is going to work out. And if you ever find yourself, if you've ever felt that way and find yourself feeling full of doubt, here's something that you can do. Write it down, voice note it, get it out of your system. Give it a few minutes, 30 minutes, however long you need, but get it out of your system. Okay, I'm doubting this, so let me put this down. And then once you put that down, here's an exercise for you. Take that doubt and ask yourself, if what I'm doubting, if that actually happened, what would my next steps be? Let me try to visualize if what I'm doubting actually happened, what will my next steps be? So let's say I'm trying to accomplish something and I say, oh, I doubt that's going to work out. Okay, let me write this down. I doubt it's going to work out. So now let me brainstorm. What would I do if it didn't work out? What would my next step be? Would I just sit still and roll over and put my head under a rock? No. You would pick up the pieces and more than likely move forward. So I'm not saying put the doubt down for the purpose of manifesting it or believing it. I'm saying get your doubt out, work on a solution as if that worst case scenario happened, and now you don't have to doubt so much because now you have a plan of action potentially if that doubt did happen. Now, once you do that, you say, I'm done with you, doubt. It's time to move on. It's time to focus on what I can do. Now, mind over matter, it may sound like, oh, those are just words, but it's real. Mind over matter is real. Your state of mind is real. So if you're having a lot of self-doubt, confidence in yourself, and not having the faith in yourself, that is a huge deal. So if you take these 2 steps that I've given you, which is write the doubt out or voice note it, and after you write it out, follow up with what's the solution if that worst case scenario happened, if the thing that I'm doubting happened. And after you do that, take it, lock it away, because it's time to move forward. You can do this. You can take the steps to move forward. You really, really can. but it's going to take you finding a way to remind yourself to do this when it happens. Because let me tell you, when doubt creeps up, it's going to just creep up. You won't be thinking about, oh, I heard this in the podcast and I heard this in the video, or you won't be thinking about, oh, I read this in the blog. You're not going to be thinking about those things. You're going to be thinking like, oh crap, what am I going through? So you're going to have to find a way to give yourself a reminder. Maybe you can create something that you can easily assess when you have doubt in your mind, when it comes up, and you condition yourself, okay, when this comes up, I'm going to go look at this. I just had an idea hit me. I'm thinking of creating maybe a doubt screen or some kind of affirmation, something where even if you have another source, that's okay, but I always like to think of creative things to do to help you even more. But maybe I can create like a doubt affirmation. I don't know how it's going to be, maybe on the website, or maybe I'll do a doubt video and maybe a podcast episode of it. But I'm thinking of doing something to where if all else fails, you can go to this website and you can read these affirmations. I'm sure there's stuff already out there, but hey, I still like to do things from the view that is hitting me to do, because my way may relate to some people and someone else's way may relate to someone else, and then some people may do a combination of both. The only thing I can do is what I'm inspired to do, which is to come on here, get on here, and tell you what's going on internally. Tell you what I'm being pressed to speak about. That's all I can do. And whoever listens to it, great. Whoever watches it or reads it, great. That's all I can do. So that's all you can do as well. If you're doing something, you're taking the best steps that you can possible, then that's all that you can do. Other things is outside of your control. And this is a great time for me to lead to another quote. This one, I had to double deck you today. All right. This one says, although we can't control everything that comes our way, we can control how we view it. Oh, think about that. We can't control everything that comes our way, but we can control how we view it. This ties into the doubt segment that I just spoke about. And I'll tell you why. Because if something happens, a lot of times doubt usually comes up after some kind of event happens, either after a partial failure or a setback or a challenge or a bad day. Usually something triggers it, but sometimes it can just pop in your mind. So this is why this next one is important. When I say we can't control everything that comes our way, but we can control how we view it. I know the old cliche about the glass half full, glass half empty, when technically it's both, and technically the water is in the middle, if it's in the middle of the glass. But it's all in how you view it. And really, if you look at a glass half full and half empty, it really doesn't matter how you view it. It doesn't change the fact of where the reality of where the water is in the glass. So how you view it is going to determine your state of mind, what your next set of steps and actions are. That's going to determine those things. You see? So my thing to you is this. You don't have to be perfect, but if something comes up negative for you, deal with it, but then get past it as best as you can. It's going to vary person to person. Some people may stay in something for hours. Some may stay in something for days. And that's just that. And it varies. It depends on what's going on, how's it going on. But how you view things is important. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be positive 24/7, 24/7. It's not about that. This is about being balanced. This is about finding a way to bounce back, finding a way to where if something comes up and hits you that's challenging and negative, you can bounce back from it. You don't have to feel hopeless and in despair. Because when you feel hopeless and despair, it's hard to think of creativity and creative ways of getting out of your situation. This is why the exercise that I mentioned to you earlier is important to do. Even if you're in great spirits and everything is great, think about what have you doubt, or what have you doubted, or what have you feared, or what have you been concerned about, or what was the last couple of challenges that hit your way, or what's something that you're concerned about. If this happens, what am I going to do? Start thinking about solutions now. That way, if something happens, and it may not even happen, but if it happens, you already have some steps that you can do. The reason why I'm sharing this with you is because these concepts have helped me tremendously. Because whenever I've had doubt or something hit me, I was able to do the plan of actions. I was able to do that in it. That's one less thing to be on my mind. So same thing for you. That's one less thing to be on your mind. So if you're in a situation and let's say it's really messing with your head, you may not have time to think clearly about the steps that you need to do. So at least you'll have a reference point. And even if whatever pops up is different than what you've written down, you still can look at some of the solutions that you've written down for yourself. You see, this is about building a game plan for yourself, a strategy. And when I come here every week and do this for you, you're not going to get everything in one session. It's just not going to happen because you may not be going through this right now. Or some of you may be going through this, some of you may not. But this is designed for you to take stuff week by week, take what you need. And eventually, if you apply these things, you're going to build your strategy. You're going to build it. So instead of thinking about what you can't do, focus on what you can do. There's two scenarios that come to mind when I'm talking about this. One, I had someone call me up and he was very sick. And he called me out of the blue. And, his concern was about his kids. And he got to the point where he was hospitalized. And then he was, really concerned about his kids. He was thinking about his life and thinking about, not having the finances where he wants it. And if something happens to him, what about his kids? And here's what I told him. And I'm sharing this with you because this may help you. And he was feeling really, really, really down. I knew it took a lot for him to call because that's not normal for him to call like that. And my thing of what I said to him was try not to stay stuck mentally right now in the situation. I know you're still getting better. I know you're sick right now, but take a moment and think about this. Why? Maybe this is the universe trying to tell you to recharge because you're on the go a lot. You're working a lot, and then you're going from work back to the kids, work, kids, and it's hardly any time for yourself. So maybe this is an opportunity for you to recharge, to clear your mind, to think about the next steps of what you want to do. That was the first thing I told him. And he agreed. He that made sense to him. And then the second thing I told him is that, in so many words, you're going to get through what you're getting through, but for right now, what is the biggest thing that is worrying you? And his response was, I want to make sure my kids are taken care of. And so I said, okay, do you have life insurance? And I can't remember if he said yes or no. And that's when I told him, okay, maybe you need to look in and investigate, research, and getting life insurance. You get the kind that has like a rider with it. And what this is you have these life insurance policies where if you get sick, like heart attack, cancer, stroke, anything like that, it will pay you out from the policy while you're alive. So it's not just about when you're gone, in case you needed that money and something happened. But I told him it's a good idea to research and investigate and look into this, because at least that will give you peace of mind to know that if something did happen to you, your kids are taken care of. And he said that made sense. And I said, once you do that, once you finish that and you got that squared away, then that's one less thing to worry about. Then start looking at your situation. Look at, is there something that you can do in addition to what you're doing that won't take away from the time from your kids, that you can generate more income? Or think of something that fits you and focus on that. And he's someone that likes to help people too. And I told him, hey, maybe you can do something that involves helping people. All I'm saying with this story is this. He had a moment where he had doubt going on. Everything was hitting him to where it was out of his control. And I could hear it in his voice. He was very, very scared of something's going to happen, you see? And he just needed someone to talk to. And it's very easy in that state of mind to go downhill into depression, and then that can lead to some unfortunate things. So when I'm going over these things with you all, it's very, very important that you at least try to apply it, because you never know when your next situation is going to come up to where you may find yourself in a similar situation to where you're wondering what's going to happen. We're all human. Don't think that I've never had those situations, because trust me, I have. But the things that I'm sharing with you, these are things that I've applied myself. In some way, somehow, something has always worked out. I didn't see how it would work out, but it worked out. And the other thing I want to say is I was in a mastermind meeting, and I was sharing a lot of things in that meeting. And there was one person in the meeting, she was looking at, this hasn't happened for me, and what's going to happen if this happens, and I'm not going to be able to get A, B, and C. And my response to that when it was my turn to talk is focus on what you do have. Focus on making the best out of what you have, and you just keep trying different things until it works. The reason I'm not going into super detail is that I do respect people's privacy. And if I give too much information, I just don't want their business out there, but I'm just using the general scenarios as an example to help you capture the things that I'm talking about. All right? So I want you, in closing here, I want you to make sure that you're working on your goals. I'm reminding you, work on your goals every week, every day. Also, if you have anything that's fearful or doubt that comes into your mind, make sure you write it down and make sure you work on solutions. That way, that's already done. Done. All right. Thank you for joining me on Hump Day Self-Care Day. I appreciate you coming, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one now.